Hello and welcome to Maker Monday. My name is Sandy Roberts and I am the Makerspace Coordinator for the Warren County Library System. There it is. It's not Maker Monday, it's Friday Steam. Sorry, I'm thinking of next week when summer reading starts and all the amazing programs that we're going to have rolling out for you on June 15th. If you haven't gone to our website and registered already, please make sure that you do that. We are using a new app this year, which is called Beanstack, where we're going to do all kinds of cool badges and activities online for summer reading. All of our programs will be virtual through either Zoom or through Facebook Live or YouTube. So we've got a lot of fun stuff planned. Anyway, today for Friday Steam, I have a fun little electronics project. And it is an origami firefly. Basically, your little firefly, when you squeeze them together, his little light lights up. And I thought this would be really fun for this time of year because this is the time of year in my area we start seeing a lot of fireflies. So we're going to do a cute little electronics project today, do a little bit of paper folding, and make our cute little buggy friend. Okay? So this is a really fun project. Let's talk about what you need. And always remember, I am following along right now on my phone, so if you have any questions or comments, you just let me know and I will do my very best to answer. Okay. Let's get our materials together first. You're going to need some origami paper. This is, I'm not actually sure. I think this is 4x4 origami paper. If you don't have origami paper, I'm going to show you how to cut regular old copy paper into the right size to make origami with. So either the nice origami paper or you can use some copy paper. No worries. Next, you're going to need either, if you happen to be an electronics kind of person and you have little LED lights like these around, you could use one of those, and you'll need a coin cell battery. This is the 2032. It's a 3-volt battery. But if you don't have these things sitting around right now, you can instead just use a little electric tealight. And I'm going to show you how to hack this open and get the parts you need out of it for our light up Firefly. So either a tealight or an LED and battery. That's the next thing you're going to need. You will need copper tape. Now, copper tape is used a lot in paper circuits. You can also find it in the hardware store for certain plumbing and electrical applications. They sell it in the craft store sometimes for soldering together stained glass. It's kind of a specialty item. I'm actually going to be using what's called maker's tape today, which is a fabric-based conductive tape. The important thing is that what we use needs to form our circuit, needs to allow the electricity from our battery to flow to our LED light. If you don't have something like this around, don't worry, because you probably have this around. And this is just heavy-duty aluminum foil. Instead of copper tape, you can cut thin strips of aluminum foil and use that instead. Now, copper tape and maker's tape are actually adhesive on the back, but if you have a glue stick, you can use aluminum foil and the glue stick to complete this project because it's a very simple circuit. But I do love copper tape. It's a fun thing to have around and it's fairly inexpensive. This maker's tape is a new product I've been trying out. And it's made by a company called Brown Dog Gadgets. They're a small business, a maker company. And this tape is like fabric, so you can use it on more surfaces. They actually designed it to use on Legos, so you can light up your Legos. So we'll be using that today as something special. But like I said, if you don't have this, you probably have this. And I'll show you how to use that as well. That said, a pair of scissors, very handy today. You're going to need a little bit of transparent tape. You may not end up using it, but it's good to have on hand for this. I would also suggest, if you're going to be hacking a tea light, you're going to need a screwdriver to open that up. And you'll probably want some diagonal clippers, though you may be able to use your scissors. And I keep around a pair of needle nose pliers, and I'll show you why a little bit later. You can do the twisting of the legs on the LED with your fingers, but I find that needle nose pliers are really handy. So this is a good time, right? It's Maker Camp time to build up your collection of tools. You can get these for like $1 at the dollar store. So get a little toolbox going and get a couple of items in it. I also recommend a permanent marker that we're going to use to mark our little LED so we know which side is positive and which side is negative, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Beyond that, you may also want to wear a pair of goggles if you're not comfortable or haven't been using electrical components too frequently. You may feel more comfortable with a pair of goggles to protect your eyes. So that's really all we need for our little light up Firefly today. So we can go ahead and get started. Actually, first, let's just take a second to understand how a circuit works. I don't know how many of you have done electronics, but when we talk about circuits, it's kind of like a circle of electricity. We have our power source, which is usually our battery, or it might be where you plug into the wall, okay, and that's going to be your power source. Then we have something that conducts the electricity. In this case, it's going to be our aluminum foil or our maker's tape or our copper tape. And then we have our load, basically what's using the electricity. And that's going to be our little LED today. The thing is, the electricity has to flow from the battery to our load and then back to the battery to complete that circuit. And if that circuit isn't complete, nothing lights up, nothing works. Now this is really handy because if you open and close that circuit, break it and fix it basically, you can actually create a switch where you can turn your light on and off. And that's what we've done with our little Firefly. When we press it together, the switch goes on. When we let it go, the switch goes off. So we have a closed circuit here and an open one here. So this is a really fun project to play with circuits if you haven't done them before. Once you kind of get the hang of this concept, you can make all kinds of different things. You can make whatever kind of insect you want. You can make a light up butterfly or a moth. You can probably make a light up frog. We also did these fun light up ninja stars. So once you get the basic idea of how this works, you'll see you'll get really creative with it. That said, why don't we head on over to the document camera and we'll get started. Okay. Bringing my stuff over. And I'm going to make sure that I have my book on hand too, just in case. Okay, there's our little Firefly. I just want to make sure that I have my instructions handy so I don't mess it up while I'm doing it for you. But I think I've got this. Okay. This project actually is one of the projects in my book. For those of you that know me, you know that I wrote the Big Book of Maker Camp projects. This is in our libraries. Unfortunately, it's not available online, so it's a little bit of a bummer, but soon, hopefully, we'll have pickup available for you. I'll also be posting in comments another project that's similar. It's a little more challenging, but if you get this one, then you can move up to that next challenge. Okay, let's start with folding our little Firefly here. I have origami paper, but if you don't, copy paper works. To make your copy paper into origami paper, you basically have to make it into a square. To do that, you're going to take one edge, you're going to fold it up, make sure that it makes a perfect, that lines up along that side. I'm going to take this extra paper out of the way so that maybe you can see this a little better. So as you can see, I'm just folding that so it's lined up perfectly there. I'm going to crease it really well. And then I kind of just fold this down so you can see where that line is formed. I'm going to fold this down along that line. Okay, just a little crease. And then use my scissors to cut right along there so I get a nice square of paper. Now, obviously, using a bigger square like this is an 8.5 by 11 square, you're going to get a much larger bug, which is fine. But if you wanted to, you could, to make it more on the size of what I'm using, fold it again in a triangle, crease it, and then you're going to open it. Let's see if I can remember how to do this right without making a mess. How do I do this? Right. I folded it the wrong way. You can fold it and then fold it like this, and you'll get basically 4 smaller pieces out of it. So it's kind of up to you, but all you have to do is make it a square and cut it, and you've got basically origami paper to start with. However, since I have some really pretty origami paper, I'm going to go ahead and use it. I'm going to make myself, I don't have any black with me today, but I'm going to go ahead and use maybe this gray, or I could try using, what do you think, red? Anybody got an opinion out there? What do you guys think? I think maybe I'm going to go for a nice red firefly, which makes no sense. I know fireflies are not red, but it's got good contrast, so maybe you guys can see a little more easily. Okay. So I've got my piece of paper. I'm going to turn it so that the color that I don't really want is face up, my back of my paper. I'm going to start by taking the top point and folding it all the way down to the bottom point right here. I'm going to try and line that up really nice and neatly. And I'm going to give that a really good crease to form a triangle. Okay? Now, we're going to form the wings of our bug. So I can see my center, okay? And what I want to do, I'm going to line this up so you can see what I'm doing. That's my center. I'm going to fold this so that the top point is at the center, but the bottom point kind of flares out a little bit. Can you see that? You see how that is? How it's a little bit offset? Because we want to leave space for our light. So you can kind of judge it, decide how big you want to make him, how wide. You might want a little wider firefly or a little skinnier firefly. It's up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and do that on the other side. Okay, and try and make it even as best as I can. And if I don't get it right the first time, that's okay. I might do this a couple times until I get it just the way I like. Okay, so there we go. These are going to be the wings of our firefly. But for now, we are going to flip this firefly over and we're going to make the head. Now you want to fold it down about maybe an inch or two, maybe to like your first knuckle. Depends on how large you want to make your firefly's head. So you're going to fold down and then you're going to fold right back up again, like that. Okay, ta-da! And this is going to be the head of our firefly right here. You can put Google eyes on or draw on eyes if you want to. And you might want to take a second at this point to say, is that head big enough for the Google eyes I have? And refold if you need to. Okay, now we're going to fold in the body. So again, we're going to do that kind of on an angle thing. And we want to make sure we get a little bit of the head. We're going to kind of just form that body shape of our bug. And again, we're folding on an angle. You see how I folded that on an angle? Does that show up well? Let me just zoom in for you so you could see this. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing, on the other side. Again, just doing my best to be nice and even. And it may not be perfect, it's okay. This is going to be underneath your firefly, so you're not going to really see it too much. Okay, so now I've got the body shaped. These are going to be kind of the legs. So I just fold them out again and fold it out again. There we go. And that's the underside of our firefly. Now we're going to flip it back over, and we're just going to take him and we're going to crease him right down the center. Okay, so forming kind of a triangle out of our bug and just crease it right down the center so we have its back. And you're just going to fold everything into place. So there you go. You could stop at this point and have a really lovely little firefly. Hello, little buggy boy. Okay, but now it's going to be time to add some light to our firefly. So we're going to just put him aside for a moment and we're going to talk. If you plan to use aluminum foil, I'm going to zoom out. Okay, you're going to want to cut it to about 1/4 of an inch. And if you have a paper cutter or a rotary cutter, that's going to be your best bet for this. You're going to use a ruler. You're going to measure 1/4 inch, which is not a whole lot. You're going to maybe mark it with a pen. Okay, I'm just marking it with my screwdriver. And like I said, paper cutter or rotary cutter, really good for this. But if you need to, just use your scissors. It cuts very easily. And you're just going to make nice, thin, you can even tear it, kind of the thinnest strips that you can manage to make, because it's going to be easier to work with if it's thin. So, nope, I can't do it. But I can, I think, cut a nice. Now watch your fingers when you do this, because both copper tape and aluminum foil can get somewhat sharp edges. So you don't want to run your fingers along those edges. There you go. And that is more than enough aluminum foil tape for this project. And you can neaten it up a little bit, though most of it's going to be underneath our bug, so you're not going to see it. You're really just not going to have to worry about it being perfect at all. So you make a nice strip of aluminum foil like this. And then when you go to actually place it on our bug, you're just going to use a glue stick to stick it down. For simplicity today, I am going to go ahead and use the maker tape. But like I said, this works fine. Now, like I said, if you have a nice little LED and a battery, you can skip this next part. If you don't, we're going to hack a tea light. Going to zoom in a bit for this too. Okay. Give it a quick autofocus. Make sure we're in focus. Okay. Where's my screwdriver? We're going to start by flipping it over. There's usually a screw on the bottom. Now keep in mind, every brand of tea lights is going to be slightly different. Okay. So we're going to use this. Unscrew that little screw. You can save that if you want. And I usually switch to a straight or flathead screwdriver. Pop off that battery pack, and we just gotta flip the battery out. So as you can tell, you've got a nice little, this is a CR 2032. What's funny is this pack of batteries will cost you a couple bucks at the pharmacy. Tea lights are 2 for $1 at the store. So, you know, pretty cost efficient here. This is an idea I am basically stealing from the Scrappy Circuits guys. Look up Scrappy Circuits online. There are so many projects that you can do with a little tea light as your energy source. Okay, so we've got our battery. You'll notice, see if I can catch it in the light. Yeah, see the plus sign on this battery? That means this is the positive side, and the rough side is the negative side. That's really important because electricity only flows in one direction. And some of the things that we use as loads that we hook up to our power source can only allow electricity to flow through in one direction. And an LED is one of those items. So we're going to pay close attention to the fact that this is positive, okay, and the other side is negative. So I just marked that with my marker. Okay, back to my tea light. I'm just going to find a spot that I can kind of use my, you can see that if you look, there's always like a couple little plastic holes in there. I'm just going to take my screwdriver, put it into one of those holes and kind of pry up. See why you might want to wear goggles for this? Okay, inside our tea light. This is the LED, that's what we want to harvest. But you'll notice it's soldered in there. And again, your tea light might be a little bit different on the inside. Hard to say. I'm going to go ahead and just use my digital cutters like that and cut it out. Usually scissors will work fine for this. It's not very strong wire. So if you've just got scissors, just use that. But I happen to have digital cutters, so I'm going to use them. Straighten out my little LED legs here. Now in a normal LED, show you, a normal LED that comes pre-packaged, you can see that one of the legs is longer and one is shorter. The longer leg is always the positive side and the shorter leg is the negative one. So if I take my battery and I slide the LED over that battery so that the long leg is on the positive side and the short leg is on the negative side, I complete the circuit and my LED lights up. But when we're harvesting an LED from a tea light, it may not always work out that way. Oh look, in this case it did. My long leg happened to be my positive side, so it worked. I'm going to take my marker though, and I'm just going to color my positive side because I need to know that later when I go and set up my Firefly. So I'm just going to give that, just going to color that. So now I know the one that's colored, that is my positive LED. Okay, gonna take a second to just clean up my workspace a bit. I don't like to have a messy workspace. Alrighty. And, okay. Come back here, Buggy. Now, for this we're gonna want our invisible tape, and we're gonna want whatever we're using as our copper tape. So I've got, you might have copper tape, you might have maker tape, you might have aluminum foil, whatever you've got, that's fine. And I'm gonna need my needle nose pliers. Now, like I said, you may have the kinds of fingers that can twist these little LEDs all on your own. I prefer to use needle nose pliers. We don't want these LED legs to be sticking out. We want them to fit nicely on the bottom of our bug, as you can see here. Okay, see, they're not sticking out. They're nice and neat. This also will mean you get better contact with your maker tape. So I'm just giving them a little twist with my needle nose pliers. And like I said, you may be able to do this with your fingers. Give them little bunny ears. Okay, little bunny ears. See that? And you can see I can still tell which one has the marker on it. So I know that's my positive. Okay, I want my positive to be on my left side. Okay, so I'm going to just bend these a little bit. And I'm just going to decide, where do I want this to be on the bottom of my bug? A little tiny piece of tape. Put it on my bulb here. This tape you don't have to leave on. You're going to end up removing it. But we're going to use it right now. Whoop. If I can get my fingers to work for me. We're going to use it at the moment to hold things in place while we're working. Because sometimes this can slide off on us. And like I said, you can remove it later if you want to. Or if you feel like it just gets in the way, don't bother. I think I'm going to go with it's getting in my way and I'm not going to bother for the moment. Okay. Because I've done a couple of these anyway, so I know I'm in pretty good shape. Okay. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to take a piece of aluminum foil or maker's tape or whatever you're using, or copper tape. And you're going to measure. And we're just going to informally measure. We want to go from basically where our LED is going to be, flip, and all the way to basically about the middle inside of our Firefly body. So I want about that long a piece. Okay, so that ends up being, let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5, that's not right. That's like 2.5 inches. About 2.5 inches of tape or aluminum foil. And that might vary based on your Firefly. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. And then I'm going to cut another one to basically the same length. And cut again. Okay. The one downside to maker tape is it's tough to tear. Copper tape's very easy to tear, so is aluminum foil. But maker tape, because it's fabric, not so easy. Okay, get my bug back over here, kind of flatten his buggy butt. And all of these kinds of tape, copper tape, maker tape, they all have an adhesive backing to them. Now, if you are using, let me touch on this real quickly. If you are using something like aluminum foil, where's the nice strip that I did? Did I already lose the nice strip? Here it is. If you're using this, you may want to take a second to wrap it around your the end of your LED, the leg of your LED, before you glue it, because sometimes the glue can actually block the signal, the energy flow. Ooh, sorry, it's Friday. It's hot. I'm tired. Maybe I will just go ahead and use my aluminum foil. Practice what I preach. What do you guys think? So what did I say I needed? About 2.5 inches. 1, 2, 2.5. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Whoop, I've gone off camera. My apologies. Where am I? I'm just going to give it a wrap here. Make sure that that's on really well, so I get good connection. Because as some of you may have done paper circuits before know, if you don't get a really good connection with your circuit, it doesn't light up so great. Okay, so I've kind of prepared my leads. Now I'm just going to go ahead and use my glue, hold that in place, and just cover it with glue really, really well, like that, and stick that right on to the bottom of my Firefly. I'm going to flip and bring it up into the center of my Firefly, just like that. You may need to crease it a little bit, okay? kind of fold it in, press it down. Can you guys see that? Folding it in, press it down. Now it's very, very important that your aluminum foil does not, that these two strips of aluminum foil do not touch at any point. Okay, there we go. Nice and neat. We've got our little buggy butt ready to go. Good connection. All right, we're most of the way there. Time to get it lit up. Here we go. We need our battery. Now, remembering that we put our positive lead to the left. That follows up. That means that we need our positive lead here, which means if I fold that over, oh, did I make it? I switched it around. Did I do it? Yep. So you're going to want to test that. Make sure that you put the battery in properly. So what we're doing is we're attaching our battery to one side of our circuit, and then we fold it over and it touches. That creates our switch that turns on the battery. Pretty easy peasy, right? Okay. So all we need to do now is attach the battery to the inside. If I was using my maker tape, I would just fold it over like this. I'm going to show you because I have the piece cut anyway. If I can get off this backing. So I've got this backing. It would be the same thing if you're using copper tape. You would just take a little bit of this. Okay. And I'm not going to use the whole thing. Where's my scissors? And, whoop, okay. Make a little sticky piece by making the outside adhesive in a little ring. You see that? Little ring, and it's all the outside piece. And I'm just going to stick that right here and attach the battery, and ta-da! Whenever we squeeze our little Firefly closed, he lights up. Easy peasy. Now, you may want to, at this point, take some more of that tape, and if you don't have maker tape, what I'm showing you is all you need to do. If you don't have copper tape or maker tape, you're just going to take some invisible tape and attach your battery that way. The key is don't cover the whole battery. Just cover, okay? Cover the top and bottom. You got to leave a spot so that it can touch. Let's see if it still works. Always got to test. Yep, no problem. So if you don't have the specialty tape, a little bit of invisible tape on the inside, and now you have a light up. Oh, see, that is your only concern. Did you see what happened there? Our little buggy butt. So what I would say is that if you're using the aluminum foil, you're either going to want to put some extra glue on there, or, you know, go with the quick and simple method here. A little bit of invisible tape right there too to hold that good connection. And we're back to no problem. Okay? So that is how you can make a cute little light up Firefly out of things from around your home. All right, meet me back over at the other camera. Okay, so all you need is a little bit of aluminum foil, right? Aluminum foil, an electric tea light, some copy paper, and a little bit of know-how. And you can make yourself a whole army of light up fireflies. Now, like I said, once you master this, it's easy to adapt to light up swans, light up butterflies, light up any origami creature that you can imagine. And I would love to see those creations, by the way. So if you would like to share with me some of what you're making, I have created a safe place for you to share your work. It's called Padlet, and I've posted the videos there that I've been doing, and you can post your cool creations there too. It's safe. I moderate it, so parents, you don't have to worry. Only we can see what's there, and you can like it. You can make positive, constructive comments and share your enjoyment of some light up origami, okay? Now, there are so many programs going on. Friday STEAM, starting next week, will be moving back to 4 p.m. because I'm adding all kinds of other programs with summer reading. So you can get the entire schedule on our website at warrenlib.org. Okay? So next week, Friday Steam will be at 4 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock. And I'll also be introducing the first Tool Time episode, which goes over how to use some basic tools in our makerspace. We'll be using everything from hammers to digital cutters. So those are going to be a lot of fun, a nice little half-hour episode every week. Now, next Monday at 2 p.m., I will be back with Maker Monday, and we will be making pop-up cards for Father's Day or for any day that you like. But at noon, we have Maker Club, and at 3 p.m., we have coding classes. So make sure you check out the schedule for those. Those of you that have done my entrepreneurship program, TREPS, before, our next round of TREPS is starting July 1st. So spread the word so other people can sign up for this really great program. We'll be doing it online this year, and we'll be doing a safe and socially distant outdoor marketplace on August 8th at the Blairstown Farmers Market. So there is just a ton of stuff coming up. We have got animal shows, we've got magicians, we've got music, we've got STEM, we've got gaming, we've got anime, we've got story times for the little ones. So check out that website because you will find that we have a ton of great stuff in addition to Beanstack for summer reading. Make sure too, if you do share on social, that you hashtag WarrenLib, or make sure you check out our Facebook page and our YouTube channel where we archive all of these videos. So if you miss a Maker Monday or a Friday Steam, no problem. You can check it out later. Okay, my friends, that is about it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you had fun and that you enjoyed this project. If you make your own light up insect, please share it with me because I would love to see it. Once again, my name is Sandy Roberts. I'm the Makerspace Coordinator for the Warren County Library System. I miss you all so much, but I want you to stay safe, stay healthy, keep making amazing things and learning. And I will see you just as soon as I can back in the Makerspace. Take care and have a great weekend, everybody.